Namaste, my fellow Aquarians. I say to you as an Aquarian moon, happy to be here to do your reading for the end of the rest of the month of November and the entire month of December. I'm going to do two separate spreads. The first beginning with these cards for November, and then I'm going to use my Rider-Waite cards for December. I did not put up every single sign last month or for the month of November. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I ended up doing some work with the election after the primaries in New York, when they said there hadn't been enough people around the country basically to work on the elections or to be poll workers and these things, particularly in states like New York where we had really bad, we just hit really hard by the COVID pandemic. There was a shortage of people because it tends to be older people, particularly women, who man the polls. So they were unavailable. So I signed up then, and I got called in to work with the elections, and so that's why I never finished putting up the rest of the signs. So I decided to, rather than to try to get back to that, I'll just start off fresh and do a November month in and a December. So here to do yours, beginning with Major Arcana card 12, Awakening, or the Hangman, which represents the planet Neptune and the sign of Pisces, which it rules. Neptune actually currently located in Pisces, retrograde, goes direct on Saturday, the 28th. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry if your progress is halted temporarily, things will soon start moving again. This can be like a feeling of, can be tied to indecision for me sometimes, like not being sure what to do. And that's why you need to look at other perspectives. And you just feel like you're at a standstill, like nothing's happening in the meantime while you're trying to figure something out, but you don't really know how to figure it out. So it's kind of like just being in a holding pattern, an air of suspension, all of that. But this guides you to maybe meditate, think on it. And it can often have to do with something, whether it's an actual thing, tangible thing, or relationship, or just an energy of which you need to let go. Tends to be what this is tied to. The next card is in reverse. It is Major Arcana card, the Sun, which most directly represents the planet Jupiter, and the sign of Sagittarius, which Jupiter rules. Jupiter also having a major transit this week. It will be, I think, conjunct Pluto, if I remember correctly. So I'm just going to put these in here so that I can mix these up a bit again for you. Yesterday, I did the first three signs. I had learned from YouTube. I don't know if I learned it correctly, but I had learned from YouTube that, some of you know I have problems with my notifications. Like a lot of my subscribers don't get their notifications. They get dropped off unbeknown to them. They have to search for me to find my videos. It's like really a mess. So, I had been, talks with YouTube contacting me of how to fix some of this stuff. And one of the things they told me was that, we can only send notifications for like 3 videos at a time. And I don't remember if it was 3 videos per day or what the time was, but keep with that in mind, at least an aspect of it. Yesterday, I was like, well, I'm just going to do the first 3 months. The first 3 signs. And every day, maybe until I'm done with them, I'll do 3 and put 3 up. So the last one I worked on yesterday was the sign before yours, Capricorn. And I guess this is why I was meant to start telling this story. What I was about to say was we ended up with the same card with which we started, even though I threw it in the middle. I made a million different piles of cutting and picked up everything again. We ended up with the same card as the overall energy as we had began with. Like what's happening right now with your sign. It wasn't the same card though. It wasn't the Hangman. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, now this is interesting because we have behind it, although it's in reverse, Major Arcana card 21. So the Hangman is 12 and the world is 21. Maybe this is a message about 1221. And you know what? A lot of things happen on 1221 off the top of my head. There's like 4 transits. It is, I think, Jupiter and Saturn have a major conjunction that day and will be closer to one another, something like within 10 degrees of each other, than they have been since like Galileo was alive. That's one thing. Wait, there's a few. It's the winter solstice, the 21st. Okay, that's another. I don't remember what else. But there's like 4 transits that I had mentioned previously when they were like fresh in my mind in another video. I don't recall. If the other ones come to me, I'll mention them somewhere during it. But maybe this is going to be particularly important for you, and it could be something that's coming to a complete end, and that can definitely be the case with an event like the solstice, right? It's ending one phase or period and moving into another phase, and that can be something that is really directly impactful to you, as opposed to this large celestial event that may or may not reach you. And I'm getting that from these 2 cards here. Okay. We just went over the Hangman, but I'll repeat. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry if your progress is halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. And then the other card is congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you've set out to do. You've made it through the challenges and incorporated the lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. Again, the Hangman is water. Most directly represents the planet Neptune in the sign of Pisces. The world, I don't know this is weird because I have no idea. I know most of the cards, like what their traditional tarot meanings are. And I know what the traditional tarot meaning is of this too, but I also tend to know like what a major arcana card, what sign or energy to which a major arcana card is traditionally attached. I never bothered to look with the world. I don't think I've ever even accidentally read about it or whatever. If I have, I do not recall. Because to me, it feels like fire. And so that's all that matters. When I pick up the world, I feel fire. And sure enough, in my readings, in my spreads, wherever it falls, if I go to clarify it or cards are placed around it, they tend to be of the element of fire. Maybe just because my, guides know that I associated with fire, they do that for me. Only they're like, okay, if we put this out there, she's going to know fire isn't attached. So let's put the rest of these cards out here too, to give her a complete message. That could be, I don't know, but it feels like fire. And it tends to be about not just something coming full circle, or a phase ending, which are, traditional meanings of the card, but also the universe easing you out of a situation or relationship, living condition, circumstance, and into another one. It can require patience. It is a 3. The 3s in general can tend to require patience, because in the like the stages of manifestation, we begin with 1 and that thought, the idea, or the words we speak over ourselves. 2 is the faith that those things can come true, and 3 we would see it's taking form, but it's not quite here yet. And then 4, as in like the 4 of Wands, speaking of fire, is you have successfully completely manifested something. So that 3 requires patience to make it to the 4. But also, this card for me is very much like the Tower in terms of the energy and the finality of what it does. But the Tower is abrupt. This comes with like more warning. Like, okay, guys, team, I got to tell you, sad news, the company's going out of business in 6 months. So you have time to prepare, right? In 6 months, your job is coming to an end. And in the meantime, you have to look for a new one. So it's still something that's occurring, in your life, but it's not like tomorrow you got to find a new job. Tomorrow you got to go. Everybody's got to go right now. You're all fired, which is more Tower-like. So some of you, and often also with the world for me, this thing that's happening to you is something that could have happened a long time ago that you could have been in more control of. But because you did not take control of the situation, you did not do anything, but it's still within your destiny. It's a karmic, event or lesson. The universe now has stepped in to facilitate the happening of this thing. So if it's like a relationship you should have left a long time ago, and you've had all kinds of opportunities. I should have been left this woman. I should have been left this man. You did not. So now universe easing you out. I should have been got my own apartment, my own home. I had the money. I had the chance. I had the good credit. I didn't do it. Oh man. Now the universe removing you from whatever living condition you're living in and is easing you into another one. And the same applies for, like I said, relationships, work, any kind of circumstance that you could be in. So I'll put these back in the order they were. And also it came to me as I was doing this that maybe more so for those of you who are watching from like Europe and places where they would put the day prior to the month when writing the date. We put the month first in the United States. But places where they would put the day first may be more impacted or impacted first by some of these energies that come about, whatever this is bringing about for you in your life. If it is something international or worldwide, maybe because of the clock. Well, it's the winter solstice, so that could have something to do with it, right? The winter solstice is the darkest day of the month. And then after that, it starts to lighten up again until we reach spring. I think that's the case. So that event would occur in places like Europe prior to the United States. And so maybe like, oh, that's going to happen to you guys too, but tomorrow, like it happened with us already. You know what I mean? Am I making sense? Okay. So I'm going to put these back in order. This was upside down. This was here. And this will act as our overall energy for this spread. This spread can be viewed from the perspective. It's funny because this is about looking at something from different perspectives. This spread, any spread can really be viewed however you want. But particularly my crosses, I like to do them from a perspective of singles and or couples. So this one most directly represent us Aquarians over the course of the rest of November. Single and or couple. The Page of Earth. Scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters. Wanting to do something more challenging with yourself. And a new area of study. Again, could be tied to the world. So being eased out of one thing into a new job where you're learning a new skill. It's a new career path. Or going back to school or going to school for the first time. Or getting, out of, again, one relationship and into another one, perhaps involving a direct earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or someone like into those traits or attributes, maybe younger than you. Recent past. Now, because I'm doing this reading ahead of the end of November, the recent past at this moment may be the future still. This could be a few days from now, you're looking at it, and then, of course, today at that point is the recent past. Or it could be the recent past from now, from whatever day you see this reading or whatever day I'm doing it and I put it up. It could be days ago, a couple of weeks ago, whatever. Recent past, 3 of Cups, a celebration, wedding, graduation, or a birth announcement, and the need to have more fun. So you can get some sort of urge or opportunity to be more social. There could be a reconciliation or at least a reconnection with somebody from your past, reuniting someone or something from your past. That it should be a positive, at least one positive reunion between you and someone or something from your past. It can actually be one of these major social events to which you get invited, or somebody close to you is getting married or has a baby or learns they're pregnant or wins an award, gets some sort of recognition, something like that. Something perhaps coming up involving some sort of party of 3. And if you are invited somewhere and it is a safe situation where you can accept the invitation, then you should. Near future. 10 of Swords, the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Somebody could even be recovering from an addiction. And it may be tied to this. Like this may have spurned something, or we could be celebrating, you're doing well in AA class. You're about to have some sort of graduation from NA class, or, get a certificate that you've completed the program. And that'll be the end of this. That this can also be representative of betrayal, some sort of disloyalty, hurt, maybe physical situation, like even somebody went through surgery and they're on the mend. With this, could be a C-section. So here's the pregnancy, here is the surgery in the near future. Any kind of codependency situation also represented by this, and coming to an end here. Masculine's higher self. I do the masculine because my viewership is primarily female and or feminine energy, and it is another major arcana card 19, the Sun. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition for your accomplishments that you so richly deserve. And again, somebody could be having a baby, learning they're pregnant with a baby. That baby may be a male child, a son. It is good news, of course, either way, as long as it's a healthy, happy baby, right? And baby may have to be delivered by like C-section or something. Other meanings of this, it's other health issues turning out well, things involving rays like x-rays, CAT scans, MRIs, mammograms, chemo, radiation, those things going well, typically. I'm also getting something about the government that is gonna be positive too. I'm not familiar with any representatives current or from the new administration that are Sagittarius, but I'm getting something with this blue bird with the red breast. It's like both major political parties. So I'm not sure what that is yet, but if that comes to me too, I will mention that as well. For others of you, sometimes the Sun can have to do with needing a break, whether it's a break as an individual or a break as a couple getting away together, or a break from your partner or romantic interests. So for some, that may be how that plays out. And again, the Sun most directly represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules. Blocks to individual or shared progress. Lack of communication, lack of movement. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities all at once. While this may feel very stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. Eight of Wands is a card all about the universe putting some things in the works for you behind the scenes, like karmic, right? Energies behind the scenes. And for you, in a more direct sense, it can be about communication. So contacting people or receiving contact, letters, packages, maybe because the holidays also in December. This can be sending people, gifts, or you being the recipient of some. Or again, this could be like the stork, the stork. So a block to individual or shared progress could be pregnancy, like I can't get out and do X, Y, Z. What the feminine can do to help herself. Don't give up. Keep pushing. And even if you feel like you're tired, you're exhausted, you can't do anymore, you're down and out, the universe is going to give you like a burst of energy in order to do this. You've worked hard, and what you've created is impressive and worthy of protecting. I said keep pushing. It could be, again, delivering a baby or something. Some sort of difficult pregnancy. Annoying challenges may pop up, but don't worry, you'll get through them just as you have in the past. So again, the universe is going to give you whatever extra boost or push you need, support you need to surpass whatever is being a challenge for you. What the masculine can do to help himself, and it is don't miss out on these opportunities that it keeps presenting in front of you. Your responsibilities may distract you from noticing all the gifts that God is presenting to you. Be open to investigating opportunities that come your way. Sometimes we're not paying attention to opportunities that come our way because we don't expect anything. We have low expectations, low esteem, low confidence. It's like, well, nothing good ever happens to me, and so we're not paying attention. Don't let that be you during this period. This is a warning if you identify as a masculine. What the universe would have either archetype, masculine or feminine, or both together, jointly, to help themselves. And this thing, the universe also wants to help too. The universe wants to help you with, but you have to like first affirm and allow it to, because we have free will. And so sometimes, like I described with the world, we, choose to go a different way. Universe is putting something in front of our faces that we're challenged with, and we decide not to. So again, I should have been left that man. I should have been left that woman. I should have been left this job, moved home, all that kind of stuff, but I didn't. So that's the opportunity to use our free will. We didn't. Then the universe steps in with the karmic energy. So this is one of those situations that the universe wants to help us with, and it is moving on to better energy. Okay? This is reconfirmation that whatever this difficulty is or challenge is, or situation is in fact coming to an end. It says it here, and this card is going to repeat that. The challenging times are coming to an end. And you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let the past go and embrace the happier times ahead. So this is saying to you, and I think especially the masculine, because of what I just described, like sometimes we're not expecting anything good to happen to us. This is saying to you, no, definitely expect better things to happen to you, and that the worst is behind you in whatever this situation is. Because it's warning you here, and it's warning you here, and then it's reconfirming here. But if you stay in the negative energy, then it's going to take you that much longer to, receive the positive energy toward you. Like, we got to think positive. We have to believe also for it to happen. Six of Swords can also have to do with travel, maybe across water, even if it's local. Again, the worst being behind you. Moving, it can be literal in terms of, moving house or, again, job or something like that. And last but not least, the outcome. Wow, it is the Tower, a significant life event. So this is a big deal, whatever this is, like a change for you. A powerful revelation that leads to change. It is time to spread your wings. So the Tower can have to do with what I was just talking about. Moving can be about an actual tower structure, like a home, a building. And so it can have to do with moving house or something going on with your home, right? Changes there. It can have to do with a major aha moment. And maybe realizing what you have to do about this challenge. I get it now. I know how I have to open my eyes. I have to work on myself, and so that I can receive these gifts the universe is trying to send me. Whatever this is, it's very sudden change and or realization, enlightenment. I'm going to pull another card for clarification, for at least for the majority of you, how the Tower may present itself, to what it might be connected. I put this one down because I like to, when I clarify, use the next upright card if I'm able to tell whether the cards are upright or in reverse, which is one of the reasons why I like to use these decks, by the way. And so the card is the Knight of Pentacles. So we started with the Page, and now we have the Knight. For me, pages bring like the news of an opportunity, right? And the Knights are more about action. So this particular Knight, he's action oriented too, but he can be slower than the rest. But coupled with the Tower, I think this is him already. It's a long time coming. Maybe you weren't aware that this was coming, and then now, boom, he's here. Knight of Pentacles is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. It's time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. So something that's been in the works for a while, could, whether it's a legal situation, maybe involving money or something material, could be happening. Again, the birth of a child, maybe during Capricorn season, because that would be December. For some, right? Capricorn, I think, goes into January. It's the end of December into January. I'm talking about the Earth. This could have to do with, other than that, in general, a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, or someone like into those traits or attributes being particularly significant to you. A change in your work, right? So here's the opportunity, and here's you actually taking the new job or receiving the money, or again, material, something tangible that is of value to you. And that's your November. All right, so I'm going to quickly shift gears here to December. And now I'm going to pull 4 cards from the Rider-Waite deck that will be representative of December, beginning with an overall energy of the 7 of Wands, which can be about anxiety. Maybe it's tied to the 10 of Swords. So anxiety about some sort of challenge that's going on with you, or maybe it's tied to our 8 of Wands that was in the position of challenge in the November spread. Whatever the case is, you may want to try to get to the root of it. Obviously, when the 7 of Wands is upright, it's about a decision that we're making or we've made, and it guides us to, put our foot down and maintain our decision and not change our mind unless, we want to change it, not allow outside or external forces to change our mind for us. So this is us making a decision, but here, particularly as it relates to love and relationship, it can be about indecision and fear, whether it is on our part or on our mate's part or love interest part or both. There's usually like a lack of movement. Wands are about movement and action. There's usually like a lack thereof and it's typically because of fear. If we're single, then the lack of movement is probably in getting out there and meeting new people if we're interested in no longer being single. In terms of work and relationship, it can have to do with like thinking outside the box, maybe changing career paths, which can definitely be what our last spread was about. New ways of earning income, or maybe even getting into our own company, but there's a fear and anxiety attached to that. So we kind of haven't moved. Remember, again, the 8 of Wands, the challenge position. Yeah, I guess that's all I want to say about it. Let me move this a little bit because I do want to shuffle a little bit in front of you. Okay, the next card is the Knight of Cups. So for some of you, it could definitely be tied to love and romance, relationship. In fact, it tends to be, but it doesn't have to. I mean, this can be, some other sort of emotional happiness, having something to do with family or friends, or again, an event, a job with which we can fall in love, our own business, so it's our baby. Of course, we love it. A literal baby based on what just popped up last time. Maybe we've been trying to get pregnant for a while, and, here comes, the stork delivering us a baby, this time in the form of a knight. He is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, maybe like the hangman, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Where it is love, this is one of those sweep you off your feet cards. Or if you're already in a committed relationship, a deepening of that relationship all the way, up to and through marriage. So, this people could be getting engaged, actually married, again, having a baby, whatever that next step or deepest level, perhaps of level of commitment for you and your partner would be. Next card is also upright. And, normally, maybe that's why I'm being made to look. Because normally I would say, oh, okay, this was in reverse and this one's upright, so I'll just move on. But mentioning it. But this one's upright as well. And it's Major Arcana card Death, which is of the same element of this Knight of Cups. In fact, this Knight of Cups may specifically be a Scorpio. And for me, this is about destiny. This combination, it's saying like there's certain things in life that we can't run away from, which is kind of like what I was talking about before with the karmic issues. Like there's karmic energies that we have no control over. And then there's opportunities, separate and apart from that we have our free will and we can change, but we cannot outrun our destiny. We can't run away from it. We can't escape it. I think it's a positive destiny in this case, and maybe I wouldn't if it was the other way around, because the Knight of Cups is showing up prior to death. If death had been on top, it would be this way, then I would think that maybe it's something, I don't want to say negative, but like that we're trying to run away from like a truth or whatever in our life, like a relationship that's ended or a job that's ended, and we're trying to avoid, that death to something. But because it's this way, I think we're moving toward transition, and it's positive. Okay, because this Knight of Cups is a positive. It's a very positive card. So moving towards some sort of end or change, transition, transformation. If it isn't ending, whatever the situation is, it's never going to exist the same as it had before again. So a relationship could be coming to a complete end or a complete change. We're not doing things like that anymore. We're not holding on to those energies anymore. We're not harboring that resentment anymore. Whatever it is, things are moving into a new energy, and it's a positive one. And then behind that, we see the next card is the Three of Cups. Again, it's in reverse. We just saw a Three of Cups in the other spread as well. So now I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to throw the cards that we talked about in here at random before I shuffle a little bit. First, opening to the Four of Swords, which is about rest, restoration, recovery, the need to meditate on whatever it is we're dealing with in order to come up with a solution, make a decision. Ace of Wands, new start, perhaps a little bit delayed. Four of Wands is a positive card, whether it's upright or in reverse. And it has to do with, yes, some surprise things may happen for us in our life, unexpected abundance or blessings or something coming to us, maybe like the return of an ex or something with the Knight of Cups being there. That can also often be, for me, somebody returning to your life. So maybe that's unexpected. You can't imagine this person coming back, and then boom, here they are. That might be what the Tower was. Maybe again, specifically an earth sign, or perhaps a Scorpio or other water sign. But whatever the case is, whatever it is that would make you feel happiness, joy, contentment here, it is going to require, again, some sort of action on your part. Like, there's good, well, this thing may not be, but to continue to maintain happiness, joy, you are going to have to put some effort into it too. And again, whatever this thing is, it may be something for which you've prayed, you've dreamed about, you've wished for, and now this is the universe coming through. This card can also be representative of communication. So I said there was a lack thereof before with that Eight of Wands. This could finally be you reaching out, them reaching out, or both of you trying to connect in some sort of way, whatever the situation is, whether it's romantic or it's a business situation or whatever. But it could very well be romantic, and specifically with a water sign, with now the Page of Cups also showing up behind Major Arcana card 17, the Star, which most directly represents your energy as an Aquarius. So on that note, I think I'll stop there. We'll cut. And it is Major Arcana card 5, the Hierophant, that becomes our new overall energy. So bring these closer again. The first card is going to most directly represent our energy over the course of December, and it's the Ace of Swords. So this is Aquarian energy, as well as that of Gemini and Libra. Also, surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, or something may be happening at your job. And it is Major Arcana card, the Star. Again, your energy as an Aquarius. Work and finance specifically. Major Arcana card 4, the Emperor, in reverse. Maybe somebody's boss somehow is flipped upside down. Something goes on with the company. You're starting your own business. You're becoming the boss. You trade places. This person becomes a subordinate. You get promoted. We'll talk some more in a second. And last but not least, love and relationship, rather. And it is, again, the Suit of Pentacles. It's the King of Pentacles. So the last spread began with the Page of Pentacles. ended when I pulled the clarifier on the Knight of Pentacles, and now again in this position of love and relationship, it is the King of Pentacles. Maybe a Taurus, specifically with the Hierophant showing up here. Just want to make sure everything's in frame. Looks good. So let's get into the Hierophant. Okay, so again, most directly represents the sign of Taurus. I guess I hadn't picked it up before. I didn't realize that Major Arcana card, the wheel, was also behind it. The wheel in reverse is pretty much the same as the wheel upright. It is just a little bit lessened in the strength, but it still is whatever you're experiencing now. Again, like a complete 180 from that. So it tends to be people moving into a more positive energy. And based on your other cards for both spreads, I would say that's what it means for you. So the wheel is turning and to move into something better. And then the next card is another one of these Pentacles cards. It's the Page of Pentacles. I'm just going to tie it in with love and relationship. It can tend to mean, the Page of Pentacles, that you're sort of bored with the relationship that you have. So this King of Pentacles could be representative of a new one, or again, maybe an ex returning in consideration of the Knight of Cups. There was also here really, really romantic, very, very tied, like true, genuine love. If that's the case, if it's tied to that. And what you may be allowing to die, and thinking about the Death card, is whatever, again, what was in the past that separated you in the first place, and now things are going to be better. From a perspective of work and money, there could be some sort of delay in, something happening with your finances. But again, you have a turnabout to look forward to based on this. And it may require you to use traditional methods and, to behave in a traditional way rather than out of the box to accomplish whatever it is you need to accomplish. So moving on to the card that's going to most directly represent us over this period, it's the Ace of Swords, again, which is our energy as air signs. And in general, this is about some sort of leap that you may need to take, right? Leap of faith. And if it's in your best interest, this card warns about not being afraid to do it. Like, if you know this is the thing you need to do, then you need to do it. So again, getting back to all those things we talked about already, a new relationship, bettering an old relationship, changing a living condition, perhaps even moving house, a job, maybe going for a promotion, or even changing jobs or starting your own business, or all these things require some sort of leap. And if you know that that's in your best interest and that's the thing that you want to do, you got to sort of shake off the fear, like stare the fear in the face and still go for it. There was a saying like that, or something like that, like feel the fear and then do it anyway, I think is how it went. And that's what it's saying. And I'm going with that meaning first based on the other cards that we've seen. But of course, the Ace of Swords is also about justice, about truth. Sometimes the truth coming out in a matter, cutting through any bullshit and getting straight to the point in terms of the truth. It's a card of victory because it's usually on the heels of something like a Ten of Swords, which we saw in our last spread. So it's like I've been through some sort of difficulty and still I made it. That's why it's so considered, to be such a strong card of victory. So, and you could be experiencing this energy in any of these ways. In love and relationship, it can be about starting something new. And if you're currently in a relationship already, you're going to choose to put an end to something in that relationship and to do something differently. So again, the Death card will come into play there. Moving on to Major Arcana card, the Star, which is also, again, our energy, and specifically, or most directly at least, the energy of the sign of Aquarius. It's a positive omen in basically any area of your life, even in reverse. It pretty much means the same thing. But it can indicate that we have all this wonderful energy around us, yet we're still not all that optimistic. And I would say that is probably more so for any masculine and or male energies who are watching, because you guys had the Four of Cups. And that's also a card of like doubt and pessimism and just feeling like nothing goes your way. And so this is about needing to feel the positivity that is around you. You got all this awesome energy. You need to feel that and make whatever change in yourself. So maybe that's where the Four of Swords comes in terms of, again, the meditation and thinking about things. It will be what turns your energy around, and so you can look at the positive side of things more so than the darker side, or the more negative side. It seems like, excuse me, like you may be more focused on, like, the negative aspect or outlook of something, rather than seeing the best, or in everything or everyone. And basically, in any area of your life that this card is touching, it does mean better things for you, and can be showing up as a result of your own prayers, dreams, goals you've set for yourself, and the universe is stepping in to grant those wishes, or at least one. So moving on to the Emperor, in the position of work and finance, can mean that you're not really in the mood for structure and tradition. However, you're guided to work in the box to the extent that you're able. This is not really a time for you to be trying to cut corners or do things a different way, that's atypical. You need to exhibit as much structure and order and discipline that your job requires you to do as possible. Um, take breaks. That maybe that's where the Four of Swords is going to come in for you. Make sure that you take breaks and you're not just being like a workhorse 24/7. But yeah, you're going to have to do the job the way it's meant to be done. And in terms of finances specifically, it can mean that you're going to need, well, those of you who are having some sort of struggle with finances, maybe that's what the Ten of Swords means for you. Then with this card also showing up, you may need to seek some sort of outside assistance, help, maybe from the government. So there may be something for you that you can apply to. The Emperor can often represent for me the government, or a large corporation, a father figure. Maybe you got to ask your parents for money or for help, for some financial advice or guidance or something like that there. Or maybe this love interest or mate, because that's a nice segue to move right into the King of Pentacles in love and relationship. It's a very positive omen in love. This person, like the Knight of Cups, is one of the, this card is one of these sweep you off your feet cards, in terms of love. You do need to try to put your best foot forward the same way you need to do in work, but not fake and phony. It needs to be in truth. This is a person who will accept you as you are, whatever that means, but will not tolerate the fake you. If you try to like pull the wool over their eyes and bullshit them or whatever, it's not going to work out. And I'm thinking probably, especially if this person is a Virgo, because they got this air also. They got the Mercury going for them, and they're not going to tolerate it. But any of the earth signs, if they are earth energy, or any sign, this person, if they're behaving this way, like the King of Pentacles, then they're not going to tolerate it. But if you be honest, then everything should just fall into place. If you're already involved with somebody, it should be getting into like a really, again, moving, like the worst is behind you. So if you've been having trouble, if the Ten of Swords means that for you, if there had been difficulty, challenge, betrayal, even, disloyalty or something, that stuff is behind you, and definitely moving into a more comfortable place. Even if that's just metaphorically. And for some of you, it could be literal, because we've seen so much about possibly moving to a new home or something. So you could be really moving to a more comfortable place, and that's going to help your relationship as well. Obviously, if anybody is dissatisfied in their relationship, then they need to, speak up. So maybe that's where the Eight of Wands is coming in. Again, the lack of communication. They need to speak up in order for things to change. We can't expect this person to like read our minds or know what we feel or what we want. But other than that, just looking at him straightforward, this person is generous, whether it's a male or a female, a masculine or a feminine, although it is the King of Pentacles. This person is generous. They are probably older than you, even if that just means, days, weeks, a year or two. Probably older, or at least they act like that, very mature, secure, stable. If they're not already, they're on their way to that. A really good work ethic, dedicated, committed, doesn't give up on their goals, real earth sign qualities, that once we sign up for something, we make a plan, and either we change our own minds, You know, internally, we make the change. You don't change it for us, and we change the plan. We don't just deviate from the plan. Either we change the plan or we see it out. And that's what this person is here to do, with and for you. Mutual respect, reciprocity, adoration, maybe even a person who is capable of providing for you and or a household, and you may not even have to, do that much in that regard, speaking specifically about finances. It may be old school, like traditional, based on the Hierophant. Hope you guys have enjoyed your reading. I hope to be back to not have anything weird happen in my life, or, to get deployed to any kind of situation next month. So have a happy holiday, happy Thanksgiving. If you celebrate that or recognize that. We always had dinner in my family. My mother calls it misgivings because we're part native. But if you're celebrating, go ahead and enjoy. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever else may come up that I'm not thinking of. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Enjoy. Hope to see you again soon. Namaste.